A very good morning to everyone present here. I, Kabir, your host for the day, would like to tell you about the topic of today's knowledge session: emotional intelligence and self awareness. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. At its core lies self awareness, the skill of noticing your feelings, thoughts, and triggers as they happen. When you're self aware, you can respond rather than react, make better choices, and build deeper connection. Together, emotional intelligence and self awareness create the foundation for personal growth, healthy relationships, and strong leadership. SEMS Welfare Foundation, a registered non-profit organization, is dedicated to social impact across various sectors. We focus on particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. Through our initiative Diri Saksham, we have created training programs in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship, impacting over 6,000 individuals. We are currently upskilling inmates in Haryana jails and collaborating with universities and colleges. We've also partnered with banks to place over 1,500 candidates in jobs. In just a short time, SEMS has established itself as a force for positive change, equipping individuals with skills for employment and promoting women leadership in various industries. With extensive experience in designing, developing, and delivering comprehensive training programs across the diverse industries, Meenakshi Ghildiyal excels at identifying training needs, creating engaging content, and measuring effectiveness. They have a proven track record in teaching essential soft skills such as communication, leadership, teamwork, and interpersonal skills to employees at all levels. Skills in quality circle, facilitation, and 5S methodology, Meenakshi Ghildiyal fosters continuous improvement and structures work environments.
Okay, so thank you so much, Karishma and Lakshmi, for giving me chance to be here. So, my dear friends, it's a beautiful morning. Good morning to all. And I request you not to start your mute, not to unmute your button, and whatever you want to talk or whatever you want to ask, you can write it in a comment box. So my dear friends, today we are going to talk about emotional intelligence, and it is very important to understand what is emotional intelligence, because let me talk about myself. If I'll talk about myself, when I was in my teen or I was in my college, so I was not at all familiar with this word emotional intelligence, because what I found, like emotion is like, I understand two three emotions, like I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm crying, and not more than that. So when I was in my teenage, I used to react very like react on everything. Like if I feel like things are not going according, if things are not going according to me, I start crying. So it is very difficult for me to handle the situations. So it is very important to first understand what is emotion and what is emotional intelligence. It is very important to differentiate these two things. So myself, Meenakshi Ghildiyal, and today I'm going to take this session on emotional intelligence and self awareness. Fine. So before starting this session, can you share the next slide, Karishma, please? Next slide, please.
1 minute, ma'am. 1 minute.
So here I have shared five emotions over here, and I want you people to share one emotion from your keyboard, whatever you are feeling right now. There might be some at this point of moment, there might be some feeling you are into current mood. So I want you to share one of the feeling from these five in the comment session, because we all are coming from different background and we all are coming from different situation at this point of time. So sometime like some of we are feeling happy, very happy at this moment, and some of we feeling very wow, like wow, I'm going to know about emotional intelligence, so they might be very excited. Some are sad. So I want you to share emoji from the out of these five. Our participants are listening to me. So Abhishek, you can also share one of any emoji, whatever you're feeling right now, because these are the five emotions. These are the like normal emotions for us. What we like feel like we are happy, we are sad, we are annoyed, and sometime when we are very like some okay. happy, feeling refreshing, nice. These are the normal emotions actually what we learned from our childhood. But have you ever seen your keyboard in WhatsApp? There are lots of emotions in that keyboard. There are lots of emotions. Some emotions which we like we don't even know that it could be a emotion also. So there are so many emotions in WhatsApp group. So but currently I want you to just type any one emotion from this. Okay, fine, I got some responses. People are happy and it's good, you need to be happy. But next slide, Karishma, please. So how would you define emotional intelligence? Like as I shared with you, in my teenage or in my college, or even when I started doing job, I was like for me emotional intelligence is like emotions. If I am very emotional, that means I am top. I will get more rating on emotional intelligence. It was my thinking. And can you any one of you please tell me that what according to you is emotional intelligence? Anyone, any guess? Like emotional intelligence is related to emotions, and if we are high on emotions, that means we are good. Our EI is good, we will get higher ranking on EI. Anyone, can anyone tell me that what is emotional intelligence, how we can relate emotional intelligence with emotions? Very nice, Shiny. Right, right, yes, very very close to very close to emotional intelligence. Like next slide, Karishma, please. Okay, I'm giving you one scenario. Like it's a most of us are professional and some are students also, and we are like it is a kind of scene I am giving to you. And I want you to I want you to like imagine this thing, that you have to prepare one presentation, you have to give that presentation. And what could be the feeling when you have to present that presentation, and when you are preparing that presentation, there are many emotions comes in you. It happens when you have to present somewhere, when you have to attend meeting sometime, or sometime when you, if you are a student and sometime you have to attend a interview. There are many different kind of feelings are coming into our heart, in our mind. We used to think lots of things. So before understanding emotional intelligence, we first need to understand the we must have the emotional awareness, that is also called self awareness. As I have given you the scene, that you have to you have to give a presentation in front of your seniors, and it is your first time. So it is very important to first understand the emotion, because there are not only these five emotions, but there are many different emotions which we need to understand, that what is the emotion is going into my mind. And it is not very easy to understand emotion sometimes. I'll give you an example. When you start driving a car, when you start learning a car, so what we do, first we understand the car, we understand the function of car. And when we were learning the car, it is very difficult for us to handle the steering, and to handle the gear at the same time. So it's quite like while we are learning the car, so it is quite difficult for us to make like to learn this driving the car at very fast pace. We won't be able to drive that car on fast pace, because we as I already told, first we need to understand the car, we need to understand the functions of accelerator, brake, clutch. And when we master on all these, when we start driving the car unconsciously and we are driving it right, that means we became master of driving the car. Same is the case with emotional intelligence. We first need to understand the emotions. We should learn how to recognize our emotion. And once we identify our emotion, once we understand our emotion, we start like half of the battle won by you. If you understand your emotions, many of the problems solved by that understanding the emotion. And once you understand your emotion, you chooses a response, how to respond to that emotion. Next presentation, please. Next slide, sorry. So as we have seen in many places that definition is kind of like to explain what is emotional intelligence. It is a capacity for recognizing our own feeling and those of others, for motivating ourselves and for managing emotion well in ourselves and in our relationship. As it comes from this definition that it is very important to manage our emotion, and not only our emotions but emotions of others also. And for managing other emotions you need to be masters on emotions of others also. But before mastering emotions of others you need to be a master of your own emotion. These emotional there are like five emotional and social competencies included in emotional intelligence is self awareness. As I told you, self awareness is like to understand and to emotional awareness, to understand your emotion. It comes under self awareness. Another one is empathy. Empathy is to understand others, understand, like to feel how they are feeling. Third one is social skill, self regulation and motivation. All these five are the competencies for better emotional intelligence. So today we are going to work on self awareness, on to understand that our own emotions, to understand our own emotions. Next slide please. So emotional intelligence, yes, we are talking about emotional intelligence, but how it is useful for us? We all think that we are masters in our skill. Whatever is required in the in our professional life, whatever is required in our student life, we are mastering in our skill. But why this emotional intelligence is important for us? Can anyone tell that why emotional intelligence is important? When we are kid, we used to, when we used to cry, our parents used to tell us that, oh, why you are crying on small things, stop crying. Is it, isn't it? It happens like most of us, it happens with us. Like when we used to cry, when we used to show any of our emotion, like when we got angry, our parents used to say that you should not be so this kind of child, you are not a good child if you show your emotion. Yes, Shiny, we, so we can take rational decisions, right? To have a good hold at emotions. Yes, why it is important to have a good hold on emotions? Because these, if we use our emotions in right way, it will be helpful in our growth. It will be helpful to motivate ourselves. It will help us to make a good relationship around us. And if we have a good relationship, we can do a better job, we can do a better work. If we have good relationship, we can have a good time also. So emotional intelligence is as important as other skills in our professional life, in our day to day life. Next slide please. Next please. Okay, as I told you that many of us think that as emotional intelligence is somewhat related to emotions. So if it comes, when we talk about emotions, the first thing what comes in our mind, the women. Are women are very good in emotion, showing emotions, yeah. And because we are not able to differentiate about emotion and emotional intelligence. It's just about being nice to everyone and thinking positively. It's a misconception. You don't need to be nice to everyone, and you don't need to think every time, you don't need to think positively. It is not emotional intelligence, because sometimes you have to say no to others also. Sometimes you have to clear them that I need this project to be done at this point of time, and you have to tell them in very like strict way. It means letting emotion run freely or being completely robotic. Like some people think that either let our emotions flow. If we are angry, we show it. If we are sad, show it. Or either don't show anything. You don't need to show any of your emotion, then only you can do better in your job. And as I told, women are better at it. It is also a misconception. It's connected with intellectual or cognitive abilities. It is not. There is nothing to do with it intelligent level, because some people who are good in EI do much better whether they are not very intellectual or not good in studies. It's fixed or genetic. It is not. You have to practice it. Next slide, please. These are the misconception what we think about emotional intelligence. Next slide. Okay, self awareness is the first step to to be master in emotional intelligence. How we can do, like, I'll give you some example that how we can master our emotions. How it is very easy to say that recognize your emotion, but sometimes it is very difficult to differentiate our emotions. What we do, what we actually, we know some of emotions, and we mix it with the what we are feeling, and we mix it with the that feeling what we know better and what we can work upon it. So we mix that feeling, the original feeling, with the that feeling what we know. So how to be self aware about emotions, that you can write your emotion on a piece of paper on daily basis. Sometime you have to write it on a daily basis, like daily 2 3 times you have to write that right now I'm feeling this, I'm not feeling included in the office, I'm not feeling happy to come by bus. So these are the emotions. When you start writing, and it is not necessary that you have to write it on daily basis, sometime you can write it on weekly basis or on monthly basis, but it is very necessary to write your emotions. It is not that you feel emotions by showing it on your face only, but you can write your emotions on a piece of paper on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis. Once you start writing your emotion, you will understand that there are many kind of emotions going through in our mind in our day to day life. It's not just happy, sad, or angry, or excited. It's more beyond than these emotions. When we start writing these emotions, we understand others also, others emotions also. It's like empathy towards others, but also towards the self. We need to empathize ourselves also, we need to empathize others also. So this is the first step to be aware about the emotion. On next slide, Karishma. So my dear friends, I just want to confirm that you people are understanding what I'm saying. So I want you to give one situation, and I want you to be in that situation, feel like you are in this situation. Okay, so feel like you are a group of 5 people in an office, and you have to work on some project together. And I think it happens with most of time, it happens with all of us, that the frequencies of group members doesn't match. So it is quite difficult for us to complete the task in a time, and feel like you are in the same situation. You are doing work whatever given in your part, you are doing it on time, but the other person is not doing it on time. So what will happen? The target time is like we are not able to achieve our target on time. So the feeling of frustration, the feeling of irritation comes under you on you, and you come to the and you go to that person, and you start yelling on him without understanding his or her emotion. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so this is the first step that I told you. The first step is to write down your emotions on a piece of paper. And after that, when you start writing your problem, the second step is ability to harness emotions and apply them to tasks like problem solving. Basically, when you start writing the emotions, you will become master of understanding the emotion. And when you master on that emotions, you will start using those emotions in your day to day working, in your professional life, and the problems what you face in your professional life, in your day to day life. When you start understanding the emotion, you start using those emotions in problem solving to solve the problem whatever you face. So it's the second step to utilize those mastery of your emotions in solving the problem. Then comes the third step, the ability to manage emotion, which regulating your own emotions but also calming down or cheering up other people. So it is like our moral duty to cheer the person who is in front of us. We It is our moral duty to cheer them up, but you will cheer them up only when you understand your feeling as well as their feeling. When you are able to keep yourself in their place, then only you can understand their problem, and then only you can solve their problems also. So it's a third step. And third step, when you start cheering others, there comes the fourth step, appreciate and accept and appreciate all those emotions. When you understand your emotions, and as I told you earlier that in our society we are not supposed to show our emotion. We are in our teenage, we used to continuously, our parents used to say that don't show your emotions like this, because people may utilize you for their own self. But it is not the emotion. When you understand the emotion, it is very necessary to understand and to accept and to appreciate that emotion. As I told you that we have to understand others emotions also. We need to accept their emotions and to appreciate their emotions also. So once you be very genuine to yourself also. When some emotions you are writing and you understand about them, when you start writing you will understand about them. And when you appreciate your feelings, because you cannot lie to yourself, accept those emotions. And when you start accepting, when you start appreciating your emotions, you will get the way to come out from those emotions. You can get a way to use those emotions into your day to day work. And when you this is the third step. And the fourth step is to reflect on your emotions and their origins. Once you start understanding, when you start appreciating your emotions, you it is very important to understand what is its origin, what it is coming from, why it is coming from. When you find out the origin of the emotion, it will be quite helpful for you to use those emotions in your day to day life, to be a successful person, to be a successful professional. And the fifth step is handle your emotions. It is not that easy. As I have given you an example of a car, that it is like you are unconscious competent. Unconsciously you don't know about anything about car, and unconsciously you are driving the car. You need to keep know about steering. You need to at the same time have to think about brakes. You need to think about clutches. You need to think about gears. So it all like hodgepodge kind of situation. But when you started continuously practicing it, one day you become master of driving a car. Then you unconsciously you drive that car. Unconsciously your hand goes into gear. Unconsciously your hand on steering, your foot on brake, and when to give accelerate, when to accelerate the car, when to press the clutch, and all those things you do unconsciously. So once you being master of your thought, once you being master of your emotions, you unconsciously, when you come to know about the origin of the emotion, why this emotion is coming from, and while practicing regularly on those emotions, while practicing to know the origin of the emotion, sometimes it's the background of a family, sometimes it's the impact of our neighbors, sometimes it's the impact of a person who is sitting next to us in the bus while we are coming towards the office. Sometimes it is the impact of a little small things in our emotion. So when we understand the origin of the emotion, we better utilize those emotions into our perfections. And there are different way to handle the emotions. Like, I have a different family background, I have a different upbringing, I am coming from a different state, I am coming from a different place. So we all are like from different conditions. We are we our upbringing in different situations. So our mindset is different, our way of handling our emotions are different. So as I told you, for me, if I talk about me, I'll give you some example how I handle my emotions. Sometime sometime what happens, I doesn't know that why I'm feeling so sometimes it's an anxiety feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling this. I start writing about that I'm feeling this I'm feeling I'm not feeling prepared for giving this presentation. And when I practicing it, I come to know the origin. That origin is like my presentation was not prepared. So if I come to know the origin, why I'm feeling anxiety, because my presentation is not complete. And sometimes I handle my emotion by writing. And when I start writing, I overcome from that emotion. And when I overcome from that emotion, I took better decisions. As I have given you the example that I'm feeling anxiety because my presentation was not complete. So once I come to understand that this is the reason why I am not confident to talk on stage, because I felt like people will laugh on me. And why people will laugh on me? Because it might be possible I'm not able to talk fluently. It may be possibility, but these are the emotions under us which coming into our mind. So once we as I told, I'm telling you about the methods to handle those emotions. Writing down. And sometimes people do meditation also. Meditation gives them the right way. Some people use sports to handle the emotions. They keep themselves engaged in sports. Some people nowadays, people used to see reels, video on video, like on YouTube or on Instagram. They used to see reels to forget about the emotion. But there is also a difference between forget about the emotion and to handle the emotion. We need to handle the emotion, and we once we do it on regular basis, we become master of handling our emotion. And once we and the last step is step 6. Once we became master of our emotions, when we started handling, when we know come to know how to handle our emotions, we became master of this. We start understanding emotions of others, and once we started understanding the emotions of others, we understand their problem. We also understand their problems, and once we understand their problem, we help them to solve their problem. So next last step is handling the emotion of others and understanding and awareness of their emotions. So it's a emotional intelligence what I have told you. So there are some checklists that why how we can consider ourselves as an emotional intelligent person. Take time for mental pauses, introspections, and solitary reflection regularly. Be attuned to and identify your emotions early on. Do not linger on your emotion. As I told you that sometime what we do, we try to forget our emotion, but we should not forget it. We need to understand our emotions so that we can work on that. Accepting the emotion, yes, these are the normal things. It happens with me, it happens with everyone else. So we it is very important to accept that emotions. Exclude negative judgment. Ask why. If you start asking questions, why it is happening, you will go to the origin of the problem. You will go to the origin of the your emotions, and once you reach there, you can use your emotion to solve your problem, to solve problem of others also. Recognize how your emotions shape what you perceive, think, and do. Learn from your experiences and mistakes. Recognize where you need to improve. Be open to candid feedback and new perspectives. Show a sense of humor and perspective about yourself. Next slide, please, Karishma. Okay, as we sometime, you know what happens that if you understand properly, if you understand the emotional intelligence and these 5 steps of emotional intelligence, and why emotional intelligence is needed in our life, you will come to understand, like you can differentiate in both the thinkings, irrational thinking and realistic thinking. I'll give you some example that when you are irrational, like it's a irrational thinking, you used to say what could be your dialogues. If someone is not giving you respect, what you say? You say he can't say that to me. How could he say this to me? He has to give me respect. So it's a annoyed feeling. It's a feeling of unacceptance. So when you start realizing your emotion, that this emotion, why this emotion is coming, why I am feeling so bad while he is not respecting me. So once you will be master of that, what would be your dialogue? I would like him to treat me more respectfully, but he is not doing it. So I will have to move on from this, as there is no law that says he must treat me respectfully. Understand? There is no law. You cannot force someone to talk respectfully with you. You cannot uh, launch a FIR on the person if he is not treating you respectfully. So if you understand your feeling, you understand your origin, you start thinking in this way. You will start thinking like it's not my area. He should talk respectfully to me, but he is not doing. let him go. And once this comes into your mind that let him go, he should treat me respectfully, but he is not doing, there is no law. So what I can do, you can use your, like, instead of feeling angry, you start using your emotions in some other productive work, and you will be a master of that after doing practicing it only. Another example is I absolutely must do well on this presentation. And another one is realistic thinking is I want to do well and I will be well prepared and do my very best on it. I have to presentation exactly as it's written. And realistic thinking is if I miss a line, it won't be the end of the word. The concept is sound and well developed already. So these are the difference comes when you start mastering the emotional intelligence. Next slide, please. Okay, again I'm giving you one exercise. It's about reflecting your emotions as you come most of the things about emotion and different emotions, like we talked about. So think about the situation, the last situation when you strongly feel any emotion. Can you recall any of your emotion, what you felt? Are you listening, my dear friend? Write down here that is there any emotion. Just remember the any emotion. Recall the emotion what you felt recently. Stress, nervousness, yeah. And okay, I'm not going to tell you write about the situation, but you yourself write yourself on a piece of paper that what was the situation, why you were feeling nervousness time. You have to write it on the paper, the feeling of nervousness, and why, the what was the situation, why you were feeling nervous or stress at that time, what triggered it, what was the reason you were feeling so nervous, why you were feeling so stressed. And there are some points which are triggering it. Instead of reducing it, the things are triggering it. And how did you react? Was it effective? And after taking this session on emotional intelligence, can you handle it in a different way? Write it on your, I have already, the questions are on the screen, and write down the answers of this on your, on the piece of paper what is in front of you. Just write down that could you do it differently. And once you start practicing this, you will be the master of your emotional intelligence. Next slide, please. Next, please. So what we have learned in this class, we come to know about the 6 steps to be master of our emotional intelligence. We understand that this emotional intelligence is very very important for our day to day life, for our professional life, and not only for adults, but it is very important for children also. Same is the case for emotional awareness. You should know the name of the emotion. Instead of happy, sad, angry, and blushed and annoyed, there are many more emotions. So you should know how to identify your emotion, identify triggers. What are the triggers which are, which because of which you are feeling in that way, and choose effective response. And if you come to know the triggers, you can choose the right path to solve the problem. And one is very important thing, EI is a skill you can develop, you can be a master of it. And once you will be the master, as I told you, you will solve any of your problem, any of your life problem, any of your official problem, any of your family problem, anything. And if you want to know more about this, you can read a book, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. So guys, now already 12 o'clock, and we have like completed most of the things on emotional intelligence. It was nice meeting with you all, guys. And I have already shared the this PPT in the group. And if you want more questions on emotional intelligence, if you need any help on emotional intelligence, you can message me in the group, and we'll talk on that. And thank you very much. It was a nice session. Thank you.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to sincerely thank Ms. Meenakshi Ghildiyal for our outstanding speaker today. We had the chance to hear a fascinating and thought provoking conversation about emotional intelligence and self awareness. Through her remarkable ability to convey information, she left us with insightful discoveries. Her engaging lecture enthralled us and motivated us to work more on our emotional self. We appreciate the effort and time they put into taking this educational program. Key takeaway: to cultivate healthy relationships, succeed at work, and build a strong future, it is essential to first develop emotional self awareness. By understanding our emotions, we can make informed and balanced decisions that support personal and professional well-being. Is there anyone who would like to ask any question? Anyone? No one?
Ma'am, there is a question in the chat box.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, what advice would you give to someone who feels that they have low emotional intelligence but is committed to improving?
People, if people think that they don't have emotional intelligence
Yes.
and they want to improve or they are improving.
Yes, they committed that he will or she will improving, but they have very low emotional intelligence.
Yes, low emotional, first of all, it is very important to understand what is low emotional intelligence. Low emotional intelligence is not to understand your emotions and don't know how to handle, like how to utilize those emotions in our progress. So, first of all, it is very important to understand the emotion. As I have already told, the first step is to understand the emotion, is to write your emotions, write your feelings on a piece of paper on daily basis or on weekly basis or on monthly basis. Once a person became master of that, they will start improving, because emotional intelligence is very important to understanding ourselves, to motivate ourselves, and as well as to others also. So it will be very beneficial for one to understand, once they understand the emotional intelligence and become the master of.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Any other question, please? Thank you so much. So let's end the session today.